25th, also known as Madden 21 release day. Larry Ridley here. That's my TV, little Madden, NFL, little NBC Sports, little NBA 2K League. This is Esports Extra. Got the club going up on a Tuesday, folks. The first Tuesday we've ever done the show live. New schedule now going forward, now that the NFL season is less than 2 weeks away, or about 2 weeks away. We're going to go Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays as we get started here on Esports Extra, the only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports, esports, and gaming. We'll take your phone calls live, 877-853-5247. That meeting ID, Esport Extra. That is 377-678-9872. Got a gaggle. Got the whole crew today. We rolling 5 deep. We could take on the Lakers right now. Hey, Willie, is that right?
I don't know if you want that right now.
Kelly said, Kelly, we got an Olympian on the team, one of the fastest women on earth. And you're like, I don't want that smoke.
No, none, zero. Negative smoke, sir.
No smoke. Dylan, we'll take him, right, man? We ain't worried about no Lake Show.
I got nothing for AD. I got nothing for that guy.
Oh, geez, save us, man.
Hey, I got 6 fouls, man.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. They gotta be optimistic and positive, folks.
So you Dwight Howard.
Hey, all I know is I'm gonna foul LeBron and he'll probably make 2. So we good.
Well, if it's in the clutch, he probably would miss him.
Hey, maybe.
Yikes.
No, I'm just saying. No. Hey, no shade. LBJ is a bad dude, and we'll talk more about what he's doing off the court when we get Renee on tomorrow. More than a vote, trying to raise some funds. We're polling places, get more poll workers involved. Got to respect that we did have Coach Lloyd Pierce on last month talking about this and what they did at the State Farm Arena. We'll get more into that. Guys, great show today. We got A. Willie down there. He's in the DFW. Hot as hell in Dallas. Hey,
yeah, it is. It's not 100, but it's hot. I think we're going to get some rain tomorrow. So we'll see what happens with that.
Okay. All right. And we got Kels. Kels, where you at?
Houston, Texas. We're just trying to stay afloat here. You know, this hurricane is trying to come through, so I'm just trying to maintain. That's all.
Hunker down, man. You got the windows boarded up. You know, half the children, half the women, all that good stuff.
Well, I'm the woman, and the child is all right. The children are good. I don't think it's going to be so horrible, but I mean, we'll see. You never know.
Yeah, I was there, Katrina, 2005. I had to push my wedding back. Left, went to take the job in Miami, got hit by Rita and Wilma. It was 3 major hurricanes in 9 weeks, if y'all remember that, in 2005. Nothing like I've ever seen before. Ivan OG King Kurt in this joint.
You know,
Lower
the
Manhattan,
hurricane is
east
trying to
side,
come
where you
through,
at?
so
East Village.
I'm just trying to
Wilma.
Living on my last good week in New York before I go back to Ohio. So I'm chilling. Well, not chilling. I mean,
I thought you got a year lease, dog. They didn't give you a year lease?
Nah, I'm good. 6 months, 6 months is good.
Hey, Brooklyn said they love you. They don't love you that much.
Nah, not that rent. Hey, that rent, man.
That rent high. Hey, the rent too damn high party, man. We saw what that was about. So yeah, there you go. Durham Worrell, you still drinking that Fountain of Youth, man?
I'm still here drinking that fountain, just relaxing.
You look good today, brother. You look relaxed. You look focused. You look energized. This is the Duran that I like right here. He's wide-eyed and open and ready to go.
We'll see after the show.
It's going to be one particular topic. It's gonna
I know. Kelly, don't let him get away with it, all right? I want you to attack his butt. All right, let's get started. We'll start with the Lake Show. They reeled out 3 in a row. Dame Lillard not going to play in Game 5. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. LeBron, he had that look that I remember against Boston, Game 6, 2012. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Willie, you know that look. It was bad. It was 15-0. The Blazers, they're in deep doo-doo. They're not going to come back from this. And if the Lakers shoot like this, nobody's going to beat them. The question is they haven't been able to shoot like this. But you knew at some point the odds were in their favor that they're going to hit more than 20% of their threes. They're going to get a game where they're going to shoot 40 or 50% from 3, and they're going to run you out of the gym. AD only played 18 minutes last night. LeBron did his thing. How do you feel about the Lake Show now, bro? We'll start with you, A. Willie.
Well, one of the things that they've been doing as well is in addition to shooting better, they've been defending, right? And when you're looking at how they're defending, it's not necessarily with Dame and those, because Dame is going to get his regardless. But if you look at what they've been doing in the pivot, they were able to hold down Nurkic and keep Whiteside kind of at bay a little bit there. But in that game one, those guys were really, really good. Carmelo was good as well. So they've been able to really lock down defensively, in addition to all the things that they've been doing from an offensive standpoint. And like you said, Larry, I posted on July 23rd about if we're going to get that LeBron, right? And you know, because I remember that moment and you know, remember that moment, that talk, all of that stuff.
And I remember Jason Terry getting baptized too.
Oh man, right. So you know, that's the thing. If you get that guy, if you get that LeBron, it's almost unfair for the rest of the league if you get that guy. And people will say that all the time, like, man, why does he do that all the time? That's hard to do all the time. But if he did that all the time, the league, it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair.
Kels, let's bring in Kelly Wells Brinkley here. Kels, this is your team right here. Last week we affectionately called them the Fakers. This week they look like the Lake Show.
You know, this week I saw what I've been waiting to see, and that's them come out the gate and asserting dominance from the beginning. And I think when you snatch a soul from the beginning, it is hard to come back.
Snatching souls.
That's what
I
happens.
can go with that.
Undertaker.
That's what it was. And
Mortal Kombat.
when you have
Finish
two
him.
players, and that's what happened. They were finished. And when you have two players that can both score triple doubles and they can score 60 points together without a supporting cast, that is very, very hard to beat. And when you look at LeBron and he comes out with that look, like, you already know you're in trouble with that. And I agree, like, it is very hard to maintain that level of competition all the time because it's not a physical aspect. It is that mental aspect. And you can't it is very, very hard. So you turn it on at the right times and when it's needed, and that was needed. And he asserted dominance. The team asserted dominance. I am very excited to see where the Lakers are and where they're going to keep going because I think that it is only going to get more and more better. It's going to get more crisp. And with the more reps that they get, the better it's going to be as the season goes on.
OG, KCP, Contavious Caldwell Pope. You got some contributions from Danny Green. Your boy Kuz poured every. Look, this is the team that's like, yeah, it's hard to beat them 4 times, man, let alone 1 time. I don't know if they'll play that well, but look, we talked about this in the bubble. Everyone can get comfortable with those rims, so maybe the Lakers have found their touch and their stroke. We'll see what they get in the second round. But right now, how impressed are you with the Lakers, especially these last 3 games?
I mean, in one game scenario, anybody capable of winning, I think. But in a best of 7, I think the best team is the majority of the time is going to win. The Lakers, I mean, I'm the biggest LeBron troller probably than anybody. I mean, most people probably wouldn't know that, but I am. And all because my feelings still been hurt since he left Cleveland the first time. But anyway,
Wow.
trust.
Hey,
No.
OG, he had to do a Cardi B. I make money moves, man.
I'm with it. I mean, but just as a fellow Ohioan, you know what I'm saying? I just was.
Yeah.
I didn't miss a LeBron game when he first came into the league. Swear to you, didn't watch every single one that came on TV. But no, the Lakers are great, man. And like you said, eventually they're going to shoot the ball. They got shooters. I mean, they just for one night they just couldn't click. I mean, but you're not going to get that at 3-4 games out of 7. So LeBron is LeBron. AD is, I mean, probably one of the most unstoppable players in the league. I mean, I just think the Lakers have all the ingredients of what it takes to win, and we've been watching it the last 3 games.
Every time I see AD take these long threes, I'm like, no, and I'm like, dang, it looks pure. I'm like, damn, that's who he is right now. Like, okay, if he's gonna hit these threes and these 20-foot jump shots, it's like, he's a modern, a newer version of Kevin Garnett. I remember Kevin Garnett used to wear you out, from 18 to 20. So do me a favor, D-Dubs, pour some cold water on this. Enough Laker talk, this purple and gold. Give me something I can hang on to, man. We need you in times of crises like this, man. We need you.
I don't know how much cold water I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you this. I was wrong a little bit. I thought that Portland.
That's manly of you.
I have to say, get that out of the way before I come at them. But I would say I was wrong because I really thought that Portland would be able to continue to shoot. I thought that their shooting, their ability to score will overcome their deficiencies. Now, they do three things that I can't stand. They live and die with the three. They don't play a lick of defense. And I mean, they don't even, and then another thing was driving me crazy watching the game. They never follow their shots. So many times they would shoot the ball, and the rebound is coming right back to the man who shot it, and they're gone. And I don't know what look you guys are talking about with LeBron James, but I'm not ready yet to crown the Lakers either because
There it is. There's
Portland
that
was
cold water.
Portland is horrible defensively. They're terrible. They were God for 2 games. They got boat race off the court before the half.
One of the worst defensive teams in the league, and absolutely the worst team in the bubble. So you're right.
Horrible. The one guy that impressed the hell out of me is Anthony Davis because there was no answer for him. He's spotting up 15, 18 feet out. You know, the first game, he was behind the three-point line. And after that, he made the adjustment. He can consistently hit that mid-range shot. And Portland had no one to guard him because if you come out there, he could go by you and it's probably a dunk. He's going to finish. And they constantly, the big man kept allowing him to shoot it, and he kept hitting the bottom of the net. You can't defend that. He's a problem. But Portland defensively gave no at all. They were just terrible. You know, I think that Damian Lillard would have had to score 50 a game to really keep Portland in it.
Sure.
Portland couldn't get anything in the paint because they got rim protectors. Davis is a rim protector. So basically, they were forced on the outside. And if they're not hitting their shots, and it just seems like all they do is shoot threes anyway, they're dead. And they have to play with the lead. They go down 15. It's funny how the score one time is 24-8.
4-8, yeah, 15 up and 24-8.
Yes,
yeah.
Kobe.
Damian Lillard didn't score his first bucket till it was like 33 to like 14.
Yeah. And even he tried to rim a couple of times and he got blocked. So at that point, they really had nothing.
Sure.
I mean, if this was a one game like the NCAA, Portland would have got the one game, went to the field of 32, but it's a 4-game series. Yeah. And in 4 games, they have really had nothing. There's not a good matchup for them.
That's one of the reasons we like pro sports. You're right. I just think about the look. Hey, William, we're going to move on. But the look of Nurkic on his face, he looks tired. He looks beat up, going up against.
He's going through a lot.
Howard,
He's going through a lot.
Yeah, and your boy, man. What's his name? JaVale McGee.
Every other day for the last 2 weeks. I mean, they whooped. I mean, every other day they've been playing for the last couple of weeks.
They've been playing for survival lives.
Yeah, they've been on survival mode the whole time.
Yeah. They played 12 playoff games. You're right.
Exactly. Yeah, and Nurkic is going through a lot with his losing his grandmother, and he's going through a lot.
Absolutely,
he's going through a whole lot right now.
Yes, but I mean, he's going through it mentally and physically too.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, in addition to what you're saying, he's going with that as well. He's going through a lot. And then, you know, again, back to that defensive part, like the Lakers are one of the better defensive teams in the league before the suspension in play.
Sure.
That didn't show up in the bubble until we got to this point.
They're playing like the team in late February and early March right now.
Yeah, yeah. So that, you know, that is, you know, that's the other thing. So to me, watching them defensively was the thing, because from the offensive standpoint, you know, at some point LeBron's going to do what LeBron's going to do. You know, AD's going to do what he's going to do at some point. I was looking at, yes, the other guys from an offensive standpoint, but what do they do defensively? Because that communicates how connected they are, right? And early in the bubble, they weren't very connected, trying to incorporate new pieces, losing their best perimeter defensive guy, right?
Avery Bradley.
Yeah. So now, you know, that I guess they're kind of compensating for that now and trying to figure some things out. So if they keep defending like this, I mean, quite frankly, they don't have to score it and shoot it the way that they shot it in the last game to win if they just keep defending like this.
Yeah, good point. Lakers up 3-1. Probably will have this. They'll get the gentleman's sweep. They'll get the handshake tomorrow, or maybe some pound or some fist tomorrow from the Blazers with Damian Lillard out. Let's talk about the other LA team, the team that most of us picked on here to get to the finals. I've got them in the Celtics. We all picked the Clippers. I'll tell you what, man. Luka was a bad dude the other day, man. Hitting that game-winning shot. Did it without Porzingis. Where the hell is PG? You can't call yourself playoff P. if you're not showing up, 1 of 8 from 3 and 3 of
Yeah,
14.
you can if it's spelled PEE.
Or PEW. Pew.
Right.
Man.
Your thoughts, man. How important is tomorrow's game 5 for the Clips? We'll go with you, Kels, first.
I mean, they got to show up. Like, this is it. And, the last time I was
Yeah,
on the
they want to
show,
show up. They better show out.
yes. And the last time I was on the show, I had all but kind of counted them out or saying that they should be worried. And now to watch a turnaround has been nice, but they're really going to have to bring out their grit to close it out, because that's just what's necessary at this point in the playoffs. Like, everything looks different, everything feels different. So there is no floater time. It's,
Mhm.
you have to either put up or shut up, and they're going to either have to put up or shut up.
Yeah, it's time. Put up or shut up, man. Ride or die right here. A critical game 5, as we like to say, with the series tied at 2-2. We know how this typically goes. Whoever wins game 5 when it's tied 2-2 wins about 83% of the time. It's 80 something percent of the time. It's been that way since I've been covering the NBA. Your thoughts on this, OG, and the precarious predicament that the Clippers found themselves in?
Yeah, I mean, I'm rolling with the Mavs right about now. I mean,
What?
Luka.
You think they're gonna close this thing? What?
I do, I
Wow.
do. I think they're gonna close it out. I mean, my thing is, I just see like Luka. He too dominant, man. Like, I think people forget about his size. I mean, but he can shoot the ball. He can get to the rim. I mean, he can pass. He can do everything. Like, I mean, and I don't see. Um, I really don't see
We just
him
lost Kelly.
being stopped or anything like that. So I mean, it's gonna be tough for the Clippers to bounce back. I think. Do I expect Paul George to keep playing the way he's playing? No, but I mean, at the same time, I just think that the Clippers is finding themselves in a tough situation. If Lou Williams can score 30 plus, Kawhi scored 30 plus, and that results in a L, that's a bad recipe. I mean, whether Paul George is playing well or not. I mean, I think it's and they won without Porzingis at that. So
I know.
that even gives me more faith in the Mavs. I mean, they got it's their gritty team. I mean, they got guys that's just going out playing hard, and they got one superstar that's just playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah. Speaking of KP, the Zinger, the unicorn, a game time decision with that knee. That was impressive how they won that game 4 without KP. D Dubs, I keep hearing about the Clippers and the best wing duo and how great they are, defensively. Will Kawhi or PG raise their hand and say, "I got this dude," and maybe at least contain him. Maybe you can't stop him, but you guys supposed to be the best wing duo as far as a defensive prowess goes.
Well, your guy is on the side of a milk carton right now for the Clippers.
Yeah.
You don't know where he is right now. And I was impressed with the Mavs when they played Portland, the way they were able to shoot. And now you got their point guard having a coming out party, and he's just doing everything. He's everywhere, and people are noticing this guy. He's a budding star, and he's be able to help out and set up everyone else. He's basically looks like he's making the team better the way he's playing. So I think if the Clippers want to stop them, they got to start with stopping that young man, stopping the point guard, Luka. They need to shut him down. That's where it's going to start to slow him up, because he's making everybody else better. And if they don't win this game 5, the Clippers got a tough hill to climb.
We talk about all the time, with these game 5s. It's very critical. Tonight, I'll definitely be tuned in to that. Got me a strawberry cheesecake I'm going to pick up from the Cheesecake Factory. I will be rolling and ready to go for that. Hey, Willie, want to get your thoughts. I like what Seth Curry is doing, man. He's got PG's old girlfriend. You know that.
Right.
You see him woofing at PG. He's
Yeah.
attacking PG.
Yeah.
Little Seth Curry is freaking attacking Paul George. Hey, Willie, talk to me about this, man. What the hell's going on?
So here's a couple things with Paul George. If you are you're sort of gaining that moniker of being a guy where people are looking at you, where in the playoffs you kind of don't show up, or you're a guy that Seth Curry or anybody else can challenge. I'll tell you all this. That's certainly that's something that you don't want to acquire, because guess who else has acquired that? Dwight Howard. So everybody always challenges Dwight Howard.
Coach,
We
go
saw
to a
Melo
four.
do
Go
the
to a
same thing, right?
four box, Coach. Gotcha. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was
So,
talking to Coach K. Go ahead.
yeah, so everybody always challenges Dwight Howard. I mean, you saw KD say, "I promise you, I'll do what do what you know what, right? On my mama." Kevin Garnett said that, right? So then KD challenged him. So you don't want to become that guy when people start saying stuff to you, you just don't even respond, because now when they smell that blood in the water, they always attack you. So that's the first thing, and then you have to take on all comers. And I've said it all the time, and I don't advocate for violence, but Dwight Howard's going to have to slap somebody, right? So he's going to, for people to stop challenging him, he's going to have to make an example out of somebody. And so you don't want to be that if you're Paul George. The other thing too, Kelly talked about this. OG talked about this as well. You guys talked about grit. Well, they're missing their grittiest wing defender, right? They're missing their heart and soul. The guy that gives them that identity has not played in a few games. And we're talking about Patrick Beverley. And the other thing as well is what Patrick Beverley gives you also is, even though he's only a little bit bigger than me, because he's tenacious, because he's stronger than what he looks like, he can actually guard up. Ask KD, right? So he can guard people that are bigger than him. I'm certainly not saying that he can stop Luka, but if nothing else, if he can just be an irritant to make it a little more difficult on them, and then at least free up those guys on the wings so they can be scorers, and then maybe they can get them down the stretch. But you don't want one of those two guys, Paul George or Kawhi, to have to guard Luka an entire game.
No, but in critical moments,
yes, absolutely.
Can somebody pick him up the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter?
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. But when you're missing your guy, that's the other thing as well. They're missing their guy. And so, and he's crazy enough to, one thing I can say about Luka, and he's gotten better with this. You can agitate Luka a little bit, right? Luka can get a technical here.
Well, Montrezl Harrell has been trying to do that.
Yeah, you can agitate him. That's what I'm saying. He's gotten better with it. And we know that's what Patrick Beverley does. Agitate people, right? So with that being said, with me, I'll say this, and I'm not trying to make a disclaimer at all. Of course, I was picking the Clippers assuming full strength, right? And so in addition to not having Pat Beverley, the other thing that they're trying to do as well is reincorporate Montrezl Harrell, right? So that's the other thing as well, is they're playing these games. They're trying to win these games, but they're also trying to incorporate some integral pieces in their lineup also too. So the growing pains are expected. Okay. As you all said, Paul George doing this, I didn't expect this.
OG, get in here. We'll take your phone calls live, folks, as well. 877-853-5247. Meeting ID esportsXTRA. Hit the pound button twice to join the show. OG, your thoughts on the Clippers?
I just wanted to add to what we was talking about, Kawhi not
and D-Dubs, you get in here real quickly.
Not guarding Luka. I mean, it's more so like I was thinking in my mind. I said, "Hey, man, the man can't do all this load management and then do it in the middle of the playoffs by not guarding the other team's best player."
Bingo.
I mean, so that was.
And you had 4 or 5 months to rest. So
exactly. I mean. At some point, like even in the closing seconds of the last possession, there's no reason why Bobby Jackson should have been guarding Luka. I mean, I don't know. Like that just made zero sense to me. I know there's no way they could have came out the huddle and Doc say, Bobby, you got Luka. Like, I mean, like,
whose fault is that?
I'm putting it on a player. Like I'm saying, I'm putting it on. I'm putting it on Kawhi. Like, I mean. Or even Paul George to that the matter. I mean, one of them got to be guarding him. I mean,
thank you.
There's no way. Like I said, there's no way. I mean, it
can't be the best wing defensive duo and not take the guy. Just like I expect LeBron to be locked up by one of them in the end of the fourth quarter. Like it's not hard. It's not tough arithmetic. It's not hard math.
What would Jordan do? What would Kobe do?
They take the other guy. Exactly.
They want that guy. Yep. The game's on the line. I want that guy. Bring him to me.
Yeah. Bring him here. Good stuff. We'll see what happens tonight with the Clippers. I got a feeling, man, they got to approach this as a must-win game tonight for LA. If I'm not mistaken, Paul George, ex-girlfriend, she's dating Or she married to
She's
Steph?
married. She's
Married to
married to
Steph.
Steph
Oh, wow.
Curry.
That's Doc's daughter, right? Is that Doc's daughter?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's even crazier, actually. Now think about it.
Yeah.
That Doc is
Yeah.
coaching PG, and he did his daughter like that. Ooh,
Mm.
I love Doc. That's my guy. But damn, I'd love to have a conversation with him off the record about that. Mhm. We'll keep it moving. Speaking of getting fired, Paul G. I guess he didn't really fire the girl. I guess he, he cheated on her, so that's totally different. Brett Brown with the Sixers let go 7 seasons, took him to the playoffs with the last 3 years. Willie, is that right? Trust the
Yep.
process.
Mhm.
Process was had some good moments, well under 500 when it comes to a coaching record. But when he took over that job, I think he's right in his statement when he said this was a hell of an undertaking that he had to take back then.
Yeah.
Now one of the top teams in the East, championship aspirations. Joel Embiid played well in this series against Boston. They still got swept. No Ben Simmons. We talk about the fit. How does that work with them? Those two pieces there on this team. Do you think it was justified to fire him now? I thought maybe give him one more season, but look, Joel is still under contract another few years, so I'm like, what's the rush here? But certainly understand why maybe Philly's gonna, if they've got something up their sleeve, then I get it, but I haven't seen that yet. We'll start with you, OG. Your thoughts on Brett Brown being relieved of his duties?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, to me, because he's one of the many coaches in the league right now who are building teams around some fairly young players.
He's got a
So
tree too.
that so it's yeah,
He's
so
got a
it's like
coaching tree. He's got other
yeah,
guys coaching in the league. Lloyd
Yeah.
Pierce, our
Yeah.
guy.
right. I mean, I just think it like you saying it's funny. They coined the trust the process, and then now it's like he's out the door, and it's like I don't like I say he doesn't have a true lead. Like it's not a true leader on that team. I know they brought in some veterans here and there, but it hasn't panned out. And I think what I was hearing and watching from Elton Brand earlier was just more so they're not looking to get rid of Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. It's more about getting better players around them to complement them. But at the same time, I mean, I'm trying to look now. I mean, I examine it further, in the weeks to come. But like, what other coach are they going to get in there to help build what they're trying to build? I mean, I thought a lot of it started with what's on the court.
Well,
Not
I think let me get your thoughts. I think they need to get someone that can see how they can make these two alphas work together, who have basically the same game. Ben Simmons doesn't want the lane clogged up because he's good at driving and things of that nature. Joel Embiid, he wants to get in the post, but he also wants to shoot threes. You got to find somebody that can make these two coexist. I see a path there. You just have to be committed to it. Ben Simmons, get your butt in the gym and shoot that jumper that you were shooting in the offseason.
right. I mean, and like I said, it's just I think they have some maturity to go through. I mean, because at the end of the day, and I mean, of course, this
I
is like a
see a
lower
path
budget
there. You just
Shaq
have to
and
be committed
Kobe.
to it. Get your butt in the
Almost,
gym and shoot.
like similar, but not that similar. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's two good pieces that really could be good if they just work. Like you say, Ben Simmons can't be one dimensional in the half court. I mean, if he's
That's
ever
the point.
going to be successful or be the star that people think that he's capable of being, because I mean, you look at most of the players in the league now that's carrying the team, they all can fairly shoot the ball in the half court. I mean, it's not solely just relying on driving to the basket, especially when you got somebody who can actually play with their back to the basket. So, I was kind of thrown off by it a little bit. I like Brett Brown. I mean, for what I see, I mean, he's one of those guys who don't shy away from the media or anything like that. So,
Yeah, very
uh,
accountable.
yeah, I think I mean, it's not like Philly. I don't think, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like in the NBA, coaching can be a little overrated, and then sometimes it can be underrated. I mean, this situation, I think they could have gave him a little bit more time to figure out what are some of the best pieces that they can put around Ben and Joel and see if they can really make some vast improvements that they had made over the last 2-3 years.
D Dubs, I like this. He was, OG was talking about other pieces, no shooters, no JJ Redick. Is that something that they need? They need some other pieces. Your thoughts on Brett Brown being fired, and was this justified right now, or should he have gotten another year here, D Dubs?
Well, Philadelphia is tough city. I quit it. I like how New York City is as well, but there's no way you could be a coach in New York for 7 years and not win anything, you're gonna get fired. So I don't think that the firing was premature. And if you got a guy like Simmons that is not a great shooter, I would think that he would be the first guy to go. You need to get shooters around you. And right now, you look at Boston. Boston is right now one of the teams to beat. So Philly's gonna have to model and shape themselves. How do we beat Boston? That's what I would be thinking to myself if I'm, the Philadelphia Brass.
And Toronto and Milwaukee.
Right. Those you have to model yourself. How do we get better, or how do we beat those teams?
Well, they can beat Boston by beating them up inside. You can start that way.
Well,
that's the one area where Boston is weak.
Well, the one thing you don't do, big guys don't grow on trees. Right. You got a guy to play that 5 position. You keep him. If the other guy can't shoot, I mean, what good is he? I'll move him. Trying to get something for him. If another team thinks that he's valuable, why not move?
He might can't shoot, but he is an all-star.
2 times.
And that means what? You're getting beat in the first round. What does it mean?
Well,
he wasn't here this time. Last year,
and last year they came within a shot by Kawhi that bounced around
4 times
to go into the Eastern Conference Finals, right? So it's not like this team hasn't had any success. Over the last 3 years, they're something like 140-82. So they've won more games than 4 teams in the NBA. Only 4 teams in the NBA have won more games than them. And only 2 guys have been there for 80% of those games.
I think he won 60 games. I think he won 60 games the first 3 years.
Yeah.
But Riddick is gone.
So I could say this. Yeah, right. But that's not a yes. I agree with everybody. There's some accountability here. Josh Richardson alluded to it. There needs to be some accountability. So when a player comes out and says, we need more accountability, and I don't like to talk about people's jobs, but when a player comes out and says you need more accountability, you have to start talking about coaching, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't like to do that because I've been in that situation where I've lost jobs and things of that nature where it was sort of not in my control. So I know what that's like. Right. But at the same time, when a player comes out and says, we need more accountability, that says a lot about the coaching. And so from that standpoint, whether Brett Brown, and I'm sure there are things that he was doing to instill a level of accountability, whatever reason, it wasn't reaching the players and they weren't responding to that. So at that point, you need to make some sort of change. We saw this with Del Harris. Again, the Lakers were top team in the West. Right?
Late 90s, Del Harris, huh? Well, you're right. They got swept for 2 or 3 straight years.
Yeah, I referenced that the last time we talked. 3 straight years, right? And I can tell you all this from being in LA, right? People, oh man, do we break up? What about Kobe? Is Kobe really that good? And when you have 2 guys that have the ability to be in the conversation amongst the top 10 players in the league, you got to think long and hard about getting what you're doing. Because even if you have the picks, and the Sixers demonstrated this, right? Even with the process, for as many high picks as they've had, they really only hit on 2.
Ooh,
right?
And think about these other teams like Orlando and the Knicks that have been in the lottery, got nothing.
So when you hit on them, you got to do everything you can to hold on to them. And so that level of accountability has to be instilled. So that's got to be a coach. That's got to be an organizational thing. And the organization has to say to Embiid and Simmons, hey, this is our guy. This is how it's done. Don't come putting in office hours with us if you don't like something, right? That's how it's got to be done. And those guys have to take a level of accountability and take that step forward as well, as you guys said. But at the same time, when this team was 4 bounces away from going to the Eastern Conference Finals, they had shooters around those guys as well. Yep. And they let all those guys go, and they signed Al Horford.
Robert Covington, JJ Redick, Robert Covington. Go ahead, real quick.
As a coach, and luckily I carry the title of GM too, because
yes, that's true.
Because I've seen a lot of players say man, I think you should have been tougher on us. You should have been more, held people more accountable. And most of the time, a lot of those people are the players. Those are the main ones ducking accountability. And I never understand it. When I tried, when I was doing what I felt was right and what needed to be done, which was holding people accountable, you wasn't trying to hear it. You didn't, you wasn't doing it. But now at the end,
Right.
people, it's always so. It's just
Yeah,
funny to me when
Real
I hear
quickly,
that.
real
No,
quickly,
and
we gotta
that's
move.
why I said, to your point, OG, that's why I said I'm sure Brett Brown was doing it. No coach is going in here and not holding guys accountable, right? It's just like even in LA, Del Harris was doing it. It's just a matter of if these guys will listen to it or not. And, for whatever reason, I mean, obviously with Michael and the things that Phil did in Chicago, when he walked in, there's a level of accountability that he's able to instill instantly.
Okay.
Right. And because of those things. So, I'm sure he does it because every coach does it.
We got to
Just
pick
a
it up,
matter
guys.
if they listen to it or not.
It's 7:40. And we've gone through 3 topics. We got to pick it up. All right. Let's pick it up. We got 30 minutes to get through these next 7.
Yeah, let's run through Kaepernick real quick.
Well, let's start with OG, the Brooklyn Nets, of course. Let go of Kenny Atkinson early in the year. Jock Vaughn could be a candidate for the job. I do know that they like him. I go back with Jock Vaughn to our Orlando Magic days. So definitely a guy that's, a high character guy. I don't know if he's that guy to lead a team that's got that talent, you know what I'm saying, to the promised land. Maybe if they were still building, I can maybe think about this. But they like, Greg Popovich, of course, Sean Marks. They go back together with their relationship. OG, we talked about this a couple of months ago. How serious is this? What is the sense that you're getting from inside the organization, albeit a different part of the organization, but still inside of the organization? What are your thoughts? Is this real, this love affair with Greg Popovich?
I mean, I would have to say that. I mean, it's something that can't be ignored. I mean, there's a lot of ties that's in there, and the other aspect of it is, we have 2, superstars. I mean, and I think it's a different level. I mean, big props to what Kenny Atkinson achieved while he was in Brooklyn, and the same as with Jack Vaughn. I mean, currently and what he's doing. I mean, I think what is proving with their coaching styles and their ability to motivate and develop is that we've been competitive no matter who's been on the court or not, for the majority of the time.
Mhm.
I think going forward, though, I mean, now it's going to be those championship type expectations that's going to arrive. And really, if you would look at it, you want a veteran leadership on the sidelines as well to help cultivate and lead that. And I think most people look at Kyrie and KD. You probably can't get 2 more dominant minded players than those 2, and they happen to be on the same team. So I think, me personally, if it's any chance of it happening, it's going to happen.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. Hey, Willie, real quickly, in 30 seconds or less, is this real?
I think it is. And to OG's point, when you have that level of talent that you're going to have to coach, again, going back to the previous talk that we had in the previous segment, when you have that level of guys, I could say the same thing to KD and Kyrie or Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and then Greg Popovich can come in and say the same thing, and they're going to believe him before they believe me. So again, it's really about all coaches try to instill that accountability and get that sacrifice where you get guys to share and things of that nature. It's just a matter of if the players actually listen to the message that's being delivered and who that message is being delivered by. So if I'm the Nets, of course I got to try it.
D-Dubs, where do you set this right now from a percentage standpoint that Greg Popovich is the coach? Look, I think that it's true that they want him.
Mm-hmm.
Pop leave San Antonio, fat crib, really can do whatever the hell he wants. He's the de facto mayor of the city. He's like Belichick, literally a lifetime contract. Greg Popovich can lose literally 5 of the 10 straight years losing records, and they would still keep him because he's earned that with those 5 titles. Why would you leave that? Maybe you want a new challenge. Maybe. I don't know. You tell me. Where's this at? 50% chance? Over under 50% chance he goes to Brooklyn next year. I'm saying under. I don't believe it.
I think it's under as well. If you're Pop, you have nothing else to prove. Why go to New York? I think
he does love KD though, and KD wants him.
It's a headache though. The media is a totally different animal in New York. That's going to be a headache if they don't win. And what's wrong with letting Jacques Vaughn, a younger guy, have mature
you can't let Jacques Vaughn take that job.
Why?
You got to get some because the expectations
So what? So you're saying that he's
I love to see
I
him.
hope he does
dog.
get it.
You're saying that he's
I love to see him,
up
but
for the task. That's not fair.
I know. But if Sean Marks gives him the main clipboard, OG jump in here. That dog ain't gonna hunt. That dog ain't hunting. I don't care what they say about, he's great, and he is. That team is expected to win a championship next year. When I think of championship coaches, and I love Jacques Vaughn. I got to hang out with him and his wife and everything. Yeah.
I mean, it's a different level when you got, KD, who's a multiple time champion. You got Kyrie, who's a champion. Like, those are two different alphas that we're not talking about a team where these guys haven't won or anything. And now that you when the start of 2021 season, they're going to be in the name of competing not only to win the East, but maybe to win the championship.
They got to be in the top 2 or 3 in the East. But they're already there. They haven't played a game.
Right.
Their expectations right now, conference finals. Period. End of discussion.
Yeah.
You're going to need somebody with experience of dealing with a lot of different situations. I don't know if this is a grow through type situation. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, I'm a Jacques Vaughn fan. I mean, don't get it twisted. I mean, I like him, my man, and everything. But I just I'll be happy for him if he keeps the job, if he gets the job, and everything. But I mean, at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised because this is a situation. I think we could be in the danger zone. I mean, Brooklyn has been competing heavy for the last few years. Like we've been consistently 7th, 8th seed, making a play with like not our key players on the court.
Sure.
So I mean, I think now it's gonna get to that point. We know at least KD is locked in for 4 years. Kyrie is here. Like it's gonna be some expectations over at the Barclays Center. So
man, you got KD, you got Kyrie, you got LeVert, you got all these boys.
Dinwiddie,
you got to win with that roster, dude.
Who was the head coach when LeBron won in Cleveland?
Which
2016?
That was
Ty Lue.
And who was he?
He's actually one of the candidates too.
He's been
So,
around.
I mean,
also for the Philly job.
The difference here's.
But
the
he
thing,
had
though.
championship
LeBron
pedigree.
wanted him.
How?
LeBron wanted him.
Exactly, and he had championship pedigree because he coached with Doc and a lot of other people as well.
Okay, so who's to say that KD doesn't want Jacques Vaughn?
We haven't heard that.
Do we know this?
Not yet.
Maybe he does.
Maybe he does.
Hey, maybe he does, but it shouldn't be a careless whisper. Like, I mean, if
who's
that's
to
the case,
I'm never gonna dance again.
Who's to say that those two stars in Brooklyn would not be upset if you cut Jacques Vaughn off?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I hope he gets it.
Have got
no rhythm.
Oh, this is off the rails.
hey, he don't want to go be missing. He don't want to go miss out on his cheesecake, man.
Yeah,
right.
I know. Hey, clip that, man. We need that. I gotta post that tomorrow. That was funny. Oh, gee, you crazy.
Hey, I'm a Wham fan, so hey.
Yeah.
But anyway.
We're done with that. Let's keep it moving. All right. Look, I think this is not a bash Jacques segment. Once again,
definitely not.
That's what it sounded like to me.
No. It's like just because I like Jordan.
You basically said
he's not
he's not good enough to lead championship caliber players to the promised land. That's
Okay,
what you guys said.
if you wanted a good athletic sneaker,
no, that is not what you guys said.
No, daggone, I'm not gonna let y'all do this to me and OG. Okay, if you wanted a nice sneaker, you're not gonna wear tree torns, are you? Or Keds? They might be nice shoes. It ain't Nike. The expectation when I'm trying to play ball and win championships, I want some Nikes. Not Keds or XJ900.
So you're saying Jacques Vaughn is Stan Smith? That's what you're saying?
That's
That's what you're saying?
I can't win with y'all.
He's Lados?
No black on black.
He's LA Gear?
No black on black. I'm not doing that.
You're terrible, man.
Hey, Willie get excited. He get excited with anything to say LA.
I know.
Yeah.
Put that LA work. You say LA work.
I stay out of that.
That's probably was Paul George's problem right now.
Oh boy. You can't let Seth Curry cook you. I'm sorry. Yeah. I was like, Dad, Paul, you don't let him talk to you like that now? Really?
To be that guy, man.
Roger Goodell, he did come out the other day and he mentioned wish they'd listen to Cap back in 2016. Your thoughts on this, Goodell? Speaking on Emmanuel Acho show, what is it? The Uncomfortable Conversations with the Black Man. I think that's what it's called. Very solid brother, played with the Eagles, smart guy. On Fox, was with ESPN. Very intelligent guy, very thoughtful. I love where his head's at. I love the way he projects and how he, sort of, delivers the message. Your thoughts on Roger Goodell going on that show? And look, it's nice to say that Roger is basically falling on the sword or on the shield, if you will. It's the owners, man, that put him up to this. So, I don't know if it was all Roger that hated Cap. I think it was collusion. We've talked about that. That means there's 32 other white dudes that had a hand in this. We'll start with you, OG.
Yeah, and that's definitely that's no cap. That's the truth. I get what Goodell's trying to do. You can it's in a lot of different situations you do have a lot of room to right your wrong. But in this case, he doesn't have a lot of room because we always say that the commissioner works for the owner. So at the same time, realistically, to warm Derwin's heart is that if anybody wanted Cap, they would have signed him by now. Like if that was the case. So and the fact that he hasn't been signed or anything like that, they don't. Nobody wants to tackle him or what they may look at it as an issue or anything like that. Because let's be honest. It's people who acknowledge everything that's going on, and there's some people who, once they acknowledge it, they want to do something about it, and then there's other people that when they see something, it's not happening to me, and they living on their life as usual. So, I big ups to Goodell, but at the same time, a lot of this is out of his control. It really is.
Too little, too late for me.
That too. It is what it is right now.
Why isn't the guy in the league? We talked about this. Nathan Peterman can go and throw 5 picks and a half. Come back and get another start and throw 2 or 3 more picks. Get another start and throw multiple picks.
Hey, but it's been that way.
It starts with multiple picks. And you mean to tell me Colin Kaepernick can't do that?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, he can do that. Yeah, he can do that. I've seen him throw 2 pick sixes in less than 5 minutes. I've seen him do that.
No, you have not seen 5.
Yes,
not
do you
5.
want me to? No, I've seen him do 2 pick sixes in 5 minutes.
Well, yeah. That's one game. Nathan Peterman's throwing multiple picks in 3 straight games. But I'm just saying.
Well, Nathan Peterman is not really good.
Get in here, Dylan. Go ahead, Dylan.
He's not good. First off, I keep wondering, what? Why does Goodell keep talking this guy up? I don't understand it.
I don't know if he's talking him up or acknowledging. The only thing we acknowledge is Wallace.
Keep asking him the same question, and at some point, he's got to stop talking about this guy. His 15 minutes are up. It's over with. He's not playing NFL anymore. People let it go.
Hey, but Derwin, I just got one question though.
Yes.
It has it been a time where we've seen a string of unworthy backup quarterbacks continuously get contracts?
David Fales, the immortal David Fales, is holding the clipboard
for the Jets.
Yeah, the immortal David Fales.
I'm just saying, period. We see certain guys constantly get re-signed and just be backups over and over and over.
We talked about this, Derwin. I've got no problem with you saying that he's not maybe a starter in this league, but you can't say he's not one of the best 64 quarterbacks on earth.
That's all I'm saying.
I think we at least got to start with that acknowledgement and that fact.
There are so many other intangibles that come into who your backup quarterback is.
Okay, well then just say I don't think he wants to be a backup, and if he doesn't want to be a backup, he's not a starter in this league. And you might have a point there.
Hey, what's your the short versions of intangibles though? Where he doesn't qualify as a good backup quarterback.
What system are you running? Who the coaches are? Have they worked with him before? Other intangible is also this whole thing.
There's a lot of running quarterbacks in the league nowadays, right? There's a lot of RPOs and things of that nature from a schematic standpoint.
Not really.
There's more than a handful.
Russell, how many? There's 32 teams in the league. There's 6.
There's more. But there's a lot of teams that do a lot of stuff with the quarterback and get him on the move and things of that nature. And we know he's got a heck of a cannon. He's got an arm.
But he throws 100 miles per hour all the time. There's no touch with him. There is no.
Patrick Mahomes throws the ball. Patrick Mahomes throws the ball hard as hell. Josh Allen throws the ball hard as hell. His throwing rate in Madden.
Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is a really good quarterback. We're not going to do that. We're not going to compare them. No
one's comparing them, Derwin.
And listen, I must revisit this again. It's always for me, it's been about, one is money. He doesn't want to play for backup money.
We're not talking about Cap. We're talking about Goodell. I'm not gonna let you do this, Derwin.
Okay, all right.
I
mean, you brought up Cap in the conversation.
I want a good night. I want this steak. I'm trying to see if I can get some LA work. And
well, listen. Goodell was asked the question, he answered it. I wish they would stop asking him the same damn question because it's pointless. He's not coming back. He played like 5-6 years ago.
Derwin is upset, ladies and gentlemen.
Every opportunity this guy has had to sit down and talk with someone about a job, he screwed it up as far as I'm concerned. Every single time. He don't want to play.
Get in here real quickly, A. Willie.
He don't.
Then we're gonna have 15 minutes to get through the rest of the show. Get in here, A. Willie.
My only thing is when again, you guys know I'm big on semantics. So when Roger Goodell says, "I wish I would have listened," but we invited him to come and talk to us multiple times. Well, if you wish you would have listened, you knew what he was saying. So why do you need to invite him multiple times to come and explain to you what you wish you listened to?
There was communication, right? Then there's comprehension.
Right. So with that being said, so for me, that's the thing that I keep looking at. It's like, I wish I would have listened, but I wish I would have talked to him. Wait a minute. He said what he said. Right? So he did what he did. So you didn't listen because you and your owners didn't want to listen. Right. So with that being said, you can't have it both ways, man. You can't say, oh man, I wish I would have listened. But you knew what he was saying to begin with.
The political winds, they've shifted.
Right. And when people don't peel the onion and look at semantics, you know what they do? They get caught in that stuff and they start taking sides. Mm-hmm. So that's what this is all about to me.
Good point. I'm gonna let it be because I know Derwin, he'll keep us here to 9:30 talking about Kaepernick. So we're gonna keep it moving. I love Derwin though. And Derwin, you're right in a lot of the assessment there. I'm gonna give you credit on that. If he wants to be a full-time starter and wants to make big money, I don't even know if I would do that with Colin Kaepernick. Dude, you ain't played in 4 years. Get your butt in here like Cam and sign it. If Cam can do it for $1 million, so can you. But I'm going to say he is one of the top 64 quarterbacks on earth with an F right now. So both things be correct.
In 2020 or 2015?
See, here we go, man. It doesn't matter. Derwin, come on.
So 5 years from now, he's still going to be a top 64.
5 years from now.
Well, how you know that today?
Because
he hasn't played in 4 years.
As good as Colin Kaepernick ever.
Oh my God.
Now, if you want to say a starting 32 positions, yes. But come on, don't give me David Fail. Stop, Derwin. Don't do that.
If Colin Kaepernick could lead a team to 12-4, he would have been on the team. Trust me. Somebody would have signed him.
Okay, so are you saying a starting job? That's fair.
If he could have led a team to 12-4, oh hell yeah, he would have been on the team. But people seen him play. Like no,
so
he's not worth it.
Is it at least good enough to be a backup in one of these 32 teams?
I think he could have been a backup if he was willing.
He could have been. Oh my God!
If he was willing to take that, and I don't believe he wanted to take that.
He's like 32, dude. Like he ain't old.
I mean, when the Ravens called him in to talk to him,
we know.
And what did he do? He pissed on that.
Oh boy!
Then they had a tryout, and what he called out Goodell at the tryout.
Talking
about stop dunking.
Come on, man. Red pen that freaking marks every damn thing on your paper. You're that teacher, man. You're the boy. But you know what? We need people like you, though. We need people like you.
But he can't think that everyone should just.
But we need people like you.
sit at his beck and call and do whatever he wants. Who the hell is he?
Okay, we're about to get you back on topic here. John McDermott agrees with you, Derwin. He's crying
Yes.
about NFL teams and about the stadiums. And
Mhm.
we don't even know if we're going to have fans in Buffalo, but he's worried about
Exactly.
Miami. A damn
Yes.
second game.
It's
What about
ridiculous.
the home opener, dude, at Buffalo?
Listen,
You don't even have a name for your stadium yet. And he's worried about people
listen.
in the stadium.
It's supposed to be equal across the board. No one should have fans.
No, that's not true. In
Yes.
baseball, all the fields are not the same. They got different dimensions, right?
Let me tell you
College
something.
basketball,
When you're playing a football game, if the one sideline, their headsets go out, what happens to the other sideline?
Hey.
You got to turn them off.
Cameron Indoor Stadium holds 9,000. Rupp Arena holds like 25,000. The Carrier Dome holds like damn near 40 or 50. When you really want to pack, I see
It's still fans
there. Yeah, but it's different size fans, different
So
courts.
who cares?
But it's different dimensions.
I'm talking about
sight lines.
No, I'm talking about it being empty. It should be empty for everyone.
And that's why they're going to get their ass kicked, ladies and gentlemen. That's why they will not win the AFC East because of that. He's worried about fans instead of about Josh Allen improving his accuracy. That's where he should be focused on. Guys, get in here. Go ahead, Derwin. I'll let y'all go because I don't want to talk about
my thing is this. I mean, I don't know if that really would make even a difference to me. Like, I mean, because at the end of the day,
13,000 fans, Derwin? Really?
Yeah, I mean, my thing is like, okay, you're not going to be near the fans. You're not even going to be close to the fans. I mean,
that's not an NFL issue. Take it up with your local government, first of all.
Exactly. I mean, my thing is, I mean, if certain places don't allow it, then so be it. I mean, hell, Atlanta don't even seem like they went through a phase of being closed. I mean, if you're looking at it now, so
they shut down for about a week or two.
Yeah, I mean, but it's forgettable now. Like, I mean, and even as I watch, the city that I live in, partly of the year in New York, it feels good.
You say nothing bad about New York City, bro.
Oh no, definitely wasn't.
That is my home now. I will go down with I will die defending New York City and New Jersey, baby.
No, but what I'm saying is it feels good to see it back up, people outside, like, I mean, feeling like New York again. Like, I mean,
all right.
So that's what I'm saying. So, like,
I know.
If it's places where they don't want to be open and don't want to allow, you can't hold that against the football team or the football organization. Like, I mean, it's it's fans. I've been saying,
go ahead, Derwin.
Fans want to watch. If you allow fans to come in, they're coming. I mean, no way around it. I mean, they're going to be there. I mean, and they're going to do.
Although you look at some of these season ticket holders, I don't know which team it was, but they were talking about 80% of the fans were like, I'm not feeling it this year. They decided to opt out of their season ticket renewal. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, just let it play out. If you've got to play in front of 5,000 fans or 13,000, it is what it is. That ain't gonna stop you. Like,
it's
you're
not,
still gonna be able to get your offense off. That's
well, Larry, you're wrong. You're wrong.
2,000 fans at Arrowhead. That's like a cakewalk. Like, I would be like, yes, go ahead, give them 10,000 at Arrowhead. Yes, do that.
The NFL has always been equal for everyone. They don't want anyone to have a competitive advantage. And Larry, you're wrong when you say it's on the governors. It's not all on the governors, because the NFL could stand up and Goodell works for the owners. All the owners can take a vote on this, whether they're going to have fans or not.
Well,
because Texas, New Orleans, Florida, Atlanta, these places that had the spikes in COVID, they have no business having any large crowds anywhere, but maybe because they have a political governor that's on a certain side, they're allowing Jerry Jones to dictate all this stuff in Texas. You think Texas, with all the stuff they had going on with COVID, should have fans in Houston and Dallas? Absolutely not.
It also plays into the the non-believers of mask and things. But you're right, they're already open. So if they're going to be open with bars, then you can play your football and your high school sports and your college and all that other stuff. So it's all the same synergy there. Hey, Willie, get in here, man. We need your thoughts on this, man. We need some smart brother to come in here and break the tie right now. What you got?
For me, I agree. I'm also in the mindset of I'm not really worried about what other teams are doing.
Thank you.
And I'm just not worried about that in terms of fans. And
you think Bill Belichick talking about fans in a game in December? You think he cares about if fans are going to be in KC? He's worried about Mahomes.
He worried about Cam Newton thring 3 picks in the game. That's what he worried about.
I hope Cam tears it up. I hope Kaepernick comes back. I want to just boy.
Man, please, Cam, have a good year.
Man, he is, man. He is. I mean, this is gonna be a true testament for Bill Belichick too, though, because
8-8.
if he's the great coach that everybody knows him to be and says he is, I mean, he's gonna have a nice package for Cam to be successful. He period, point blank. I mean, I don't think Cam is gonna throw that anyway.
Yeah. All right, good stuff.
Let's go, Cam.
Well, yeah, I know, right? Go number one, absolutely. Earl Thomas was released by the Ravens. You start unpacking some of this because you want to know. Surely it wasn't just one fight with, the safety Clark, right? Although that is a little strange. It's not typical. You see a lot of camp fights, offense, defense, things of that nature. But when I heard that it was Clark, I'm like, hold on, that's a safety. That's a guy in this daggone same room, position group. I'm like, so okay, that's got to be something personal there. And you read some of the stories, you unpack it, and you've seen, some stories with, freaking Earl allegedly, showing up late because he's getting the car washed. It's like, whatever. And you hear all these stories, but you guys' thoughts on Earl Thomas III being released, and is he going to Dallas or is he going back to Seattle? Derwin? Stop mentioning Seattle. Action Green.
Yeah, that was a segue, man.
Yeah. He's Seattle's straight. He's not going back to Seattle.
What did Pete Carroll say? I think he said he felt sorry for him, where he's like, he's going through some stuff. Yeah, something.
Well, Pete spoke on it because someone asked him about it, and he said, he felt bad for him, and the guy said, one of the reporters said, well, Earl was always outspoken, and Pete said, no, that's not true. He was always quiet when he was here. It wasn't until his contract dispute towards the end, he did a couple of things where he went to the locker room because he was going, I think, talk to Dez.
Don't forget about the injury either. Remember,
and the injury.
That was big.
And the fact, and then he wanted to.
Don't say Seattle. Try to skip over it. That was pretty damn big.
No, he wants to get paid.
Acknowledge, like Wallace. Shake your head. Okay.
And Seattle has a plan. Seattle has been relevant year after year in the playoffs because, they need to start to, mature some of these younger guys that hit on their draft. And maybe they can afford to pay Earl $12 million and keep certain other players. And now Russell making all this money. But he's not coming back to Seattle. The only way he comes back to Seattle is to retire. If he's going to retire, which he's not, then I can see Seattle giving him a one-day deal and let him retire as Seahawk, but that'll be about it. Seattle's stacked in that secondary as safety.
That's true. They got a younger version of Earl Thomas.
Oh man, they are stacked.
Jamal Adams, you're right. I agree with you on that. I just wanted to get your thoughts because I know your heart and your head is going to be.
And Pete did say this. Pete said this. For them to send him home is really bad because they're not going to send you home just for a fight. There's some other things.
Not
I heard and I heard that some players had said some things, and then you got the thing with the wife and the site. It's just too much going on, so I can understand it.
Hey, Willie, Earl Thomas released. Where does he go?
Probably, I think one of the places that would love to have him is here. I think they'd love to have him in Dallas.
December 2017, come get me.
Yes. I think
we just showed the picture. Come get me.
Yeah, and Jerry is. I think Jerry is. Well, we know Jerry is desperate enough to try to win one, right? To add whatever it is that he possibly can add to the team in efforts to get one. One of the things with Earl is, I've said this before, like when you're in the league, and whether it's NBA, NFL, one of those things, you got to be better than the problems that you create. Mm-hmm. And when you are creating a boatload of problems, or if you're a person that people are having a hard time getting along with or having that level of accountability, we would see this in Philly, for example, with Iverson. And I'm an Iverson guy, but not only was Iverson winning MVPs, the big thing he was doing was selling more jerseys than anybody else in the NBA, right? And the second that he wasn't doing that, they traded him. The second he wasn't doing it, they traded him. With that being said, if you are a player that sort of lives on the edge and you got some things going on, you better be really good. And Baltimore is also in a situation where if you look at them as a team with them trying to win a title, they don't technically need him. Their secondary is pretty good without him. So if you're a guy that is kind of on
it's
the
a good
edge
secondary. I don't know if they want to tackle. Ask Derrick Henry. They don't want to tackle nobody.
Yeah, right. But they're good though. It's not like their secondary is a glaring hole on their
No,
team.
I think it's one of the top.
Like,
definitely one of the top 5. I think New England's number 1. I would put Baltimore 3 or 4. Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you are a guy that, again, when you're doing some of those things, the other thing you better do is take inventory and see if this team needs you as well, right? And so they don't.
You gotta know. You gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them.
Have to know that. And again, for him to be a veteran as well, is one thing when we see the young guy trying to, sneak a girl into the hotel in Seattle, right? As a young guy,
right.
But to take a,
you're right, because if it's Sierra with a hoodie on, nobody says nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Right. Exactly. So you got to be.
Your head, Duran. You know that's true.
They won't. They're not saying anything.
If Sierra comes right now in the Seattle team hotel through the checkpoint, does she get in? Yes or no? Quickly. Yes or no? You're muted.
No.
Stop it. You're a daggone lie. I can't believe you said that. You know better than that.
She's not authorized to come in the bubble.
What does that mean?
She's not authorized.
You believe that? Oh my goodness. Go ahead, A. Willie.
Put that one out.
Yeah.
I don't think they.
First of all, Sierra ain't even showing up in a hoodie. She's just showing up.
True. Shout out to Sierra. She did it. Exactly. Sierra did a lot for Russ.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep it moving. 10 minutes, guys. Let's get through these next 4 topics. College football playoff. They're gonna go on as scheduled. Got the dates coming out November, through December. Rose Bowl and I believe the Sugar Bowl will have the semifinals and the championship game. I think January 10th or 11th. Miami Gardens in Miami Gardens outside of Miami, right there at Hard Rock Stadium. They're like, the hell with you, Big Ten and Pac-12. We're going to do this thing in the fall. Y'all can play in the spring. We're going to crown a champion in the fall.
3 hot spots for those games.
Right. Exactly. Right. D. Right.
That's true. Cali, New Orleans, and Florida. Dag, you're exactly right.
Yeah. No question.
I mean, I really thought that the ACC would be next. It doesn't seem like what went on campus at UNC has affected anything.
Why would the ACC be next?
Or NC State,
when they're number 1 in the country? Why would they be next? Clemson.
Notre Dame. They got problems
nothing to do with Clemson. That ain't got
NC
nothing
State,
to do with Clemson.
Yeah, but they're part of the country. They got to play them.
Hey, football.
They have to play them though.
Derwin, football matters.
I understand.
They'll figure it out.
Matters.
They'll figure it out, bro. They'll figure it out. Yeah. They'll figure it out. You guys got any problems with this? I mean, it's standard operating procedure, business as usual. What do you guys think? I was not shocked by that. Like, yeah. So they're gonna do.
I was already in the impression. I mean, this teams are going to play. Conferences are going to play. I mean, it's once I seen like they was shutting down certain conferences and said they wasn't going to play, but then you seen others. They was relentless that they were going to play. I mean, it's no surprise. It's kind of odd that they're doing top 25 with schools that are not playing.
10 schools, yeah,
like
6 Big Ten schools: Penn State, Ohio State.
Yeah, that was a little funny, but at the same time, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I think slowly but surely, we really gonna see some things here in the next 2 to 3 months to really see what's gonna be the focus. I mean, and what's the increase or decrease or whatever that's with COVID that has been restricting a lot of different activities. So it's going to be an interesting one, but I mean, we definitely going to experience it. I mean, it's kind of funny when we talk about protocols. We got sports that has bubbles. We have some sports that don't have bubbles. And now we talking about college kids, like that's going, no telling what they're doing, in their free time or whatever. So I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see. I mean, I think at this point in time, we all have to just protect ourselves as with what we're given and pray and hope for the best. I mean, at this point.
Yeah, Derwin, real quickly, get your final thoughts on this college football playoff.
I mean, God forbid. Hopefully, if they make it through the season and no team gets this, mass number of players get COVID and have to cancel a Saturday game, and then let's say they're not eligible for a championship. That's very possible that could happen. If you miss 2 or 3 games, that now you have to make up some way along the road. If LSU gets it again or Clemson gets it again,
Sure.
it's just, I don't know.
Well, the ACC already told you what their playbook is. They just gave you, the entire playbook. They showed you their hand when they said, "All right, North Carolina, you can shut down the school system after hundreds of positive tests, but the athletes, you guys will still be here and have your own little bubble." So we knew the ACC, and plus Clemson being number one, the ACC's they're not dumb. They're not gonna bite off their own nose, despite their face. Like they're gonna go out and let Clemson try to get to this third straight national championship game. Actually, be fourth straight. Yeah, because they lost one to Bama, won two actually. So yeah, they've been to four straight, right? Is that right? Four straight? Yeah, they're 2-2 because they lost to
Yeah.
LSU and
Yeah.
Bama and beat Bama and somebody else. Yeah. So actually, no, they've been to three straight. They lost in the semifinal 4 years ago to Bama. Bama beat them because I had
Bama.
Kelly Bryant. They beat them in the semifinal that year. But yeah,
Bama played. I'm trying to remember who Bama played after that. Then
they won it because they beat Clemson and they beat it wasn't that was the semifinal game because it was Kelly Bryant who transferred and went to Missouri.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
I forget who they beat after that, but yeah, that was the last championship they won, which was 2 years ago, I think. 3 years ago. Yeah, because Clemson won it the year before, and then LSU won it this past year. So yeah, that's right. Let's go. NCAA hoops. We were talking a little bit about that. NCAA, you guys look at this. They've got 4 different start dates: November 10th, the 20th, end of November, and then sometime,
25th and
yeah, then
December 4th.
December the 4th or 5th,
Yeah.
and then I've got the 5th option, which is basically January, conference only, and the bubble thing is picking up steam. The Big East talked about it the other day. You're starting to see some commissioners talk about it. John Calipari is talking about it. I think we're heading down that road where they're at least considering it
Right.
for the college teams, right? It's going to be expensive as hell, but people want their March Madness, and I know,
Yeah.
you guys need to do whatever you need to do to be playing. I know
Yeah.
that.
They can't take 2 hits, man. I mean, as a sports
No.
fan, March Madness is my second favorite thing out of all the
with you.
sports besides Super Bowl, NFL season. We can't miss 2 March Madnesses. So however they can get this together safely for the kids,
Mhm.
I'm all for it.
Yeah,
OG?
me too. Me too. I mean, the other aspect about it, I mean, especially when we're talking hoops specifically, is that this time is giving more prospects a chance to evaluate whether they're even thinking about going to college or jumping straight to the 500K with the that. So I mean, definitely the NCAA, look, they can't afford to take another hit like that. And also you're having examples right now between the basketball tournament and the NBA and the WNBA of how they're handling protocol in relation to basketball. So the format is already set. So I mean, it's just how you're gonna handle it. I mean, obviously it's a bigger market because you have a ton of conferences, and normally that's a big opportunity for a lot of different schools to make the tournament and everything like that. So depending on how you set up your bubble and if that was to be the case, I mean, it's just going to be interesting to see what the final outcome of it is. And also, if waiting until January or whatever, just seeing where is the state of the world during that time.
That's a good point. Yeah, hopefully have a vaccine. They're saying by the spring or the summer at the latest. Hey, Willie, real quickly, NCAA hoops. Laying out the 4 options to start the season, being prepared, and also some talk about a bubble for conferences in January.
No, that makes sense. And again, I know a lot of times in the NCAA and in the NBA, because of going up against the NFL and college football, there's been talk about, do we shift the calendar and start the season at a different point so we're not, in terms of the NCAA, cannibalizing basketball because so many people are preoccupied with football. So I think this gives them an opportunity to look at that. The other thing that the NCAA should probably make a decision on as well is, while there is more uncertainty in the NBA in terms of when the 2021 season starts, the NCAA should kind of get a definitive look as much as they can, of course, being safe, and have a definitive date about when they'll start their season. because if the NBA comes out with the date for the 2021 season before the NCAA, you're probably going to see some players opting out in favor of not even playing in college, like we're seeing in football as well. So that I think that's one of the things that the NCAA, to a certain extent, is probably trying to get out in front of. I know if I were a part of it, I would. If we're talking about playing.
Definitely. I think they're talking about there's a meeting next week with the NCAA board directors and some other folks. I believe August the 30th. They're looking to have this thing done by 1st of September to have some sort of structure out there in place and some guidelines for college basketball teams. Real quickly, OG, your NBA 2K update. We got the championship game. I believe, what is it? Is it Thursday or Friday? Friday, right? Friday. Warriors coming out to play against who runs the district? Dudes from DC.
Yeah. The Warriors thriving from there, obviously disappointing run last year in the playoffs, and they've been one of the consistently good teams in the league. So seeing them get their shot is pretty good. But then Worcester District Gaming, who wasn't even a playoff team last year, and now to come back, they had the number 1 pick in JBM, their point guard, and then they made a phenomenal run, knocked off the undefeated Raptors.
What?
Swept them.
Yeah.
Swept them.
Swept them.
Wow, that is the worst.
Yeah. So they're 1-2. They're a dominant half court team defensively, and that really proved to be it. I mean, they've done something that nobody could do, and I mean, really, Dave Fry. I'm really happy for him. I mean, he's been through some ups and downs in the league. I mean, him and Dimes played together season 1. A lot of people know about their, rivalry, so to speak, right now. He departed from Dallas. Dimes stayed in Dallas, so every time they play now, it's a pretty heated matchup. But just to see him, pushing forward, they got a great core. Both teams have a really good group of guys. I mean, and I think it's going to be just a matter of who imposes their will, and get it. I mean, our league is not broken down by coast, but ironically, we got Golden State coming out of the West, and we got Wizard District Gaming coming out of the East. So, I think it's going to make for a great match. It's a best-of-5 series.
Both teams 13-3, so played very well throughout the regular season.
So it's gonna. I think it's gonna be high. And I wish we could watch this game being this series being played in our arena, but I think it's gonna. You can find it on YouTube, Twitch, I believe, ESPN 2
Friday night. Yep.
Yeah, so it's I'm excited. I mean, it's been a great year for me. Met with management today.
We coming back, baby.
Yeah,
looks that way, huh?
We'll be. I'll be back. And
why don't you bring in your boys, man? Let us run the team, man. Let us run the point. I got the point. You know what I'm saying? I can dish it. I play defense. I'm scrappy. You know what I'm saying? I set everybody up.
Hey, this time next year, I'm trying to make sure I'm coming back. So I got.
Oh, we can't play.
Trying to get that man fired.
Damn, OG. I thought we were tighter than that, man.
We tight, man.
We ain't that tight. Not tight enough for you to play.
No, I'm looking out for you and me. But I'm excited to watch this finals, and me and my partner, my assistant GM YL, we're gonna be working diligently to get back. I think overall we had a pretty good year. Be doing exit interviews next week, and just keep building from that point. I'm gonna take some time out for myself. I got some cool things going on. It's a good time right now for the OG, for real.
I was about to say, you got the look on your face. Like, I got some stuff going on, man. Pandemic. Pandemic?
I will say this though. I mean, having a manager that believes in you and that goes hard for you every day is I can't say enough.
I got Mirror Rider like that too. Her name is Kim. She's my manager.
I mean, big show. Yeah, Justin Jacobson. I signed with Ford Models management like
Ooh,
over two.
you're a model, huh? You're a model? A male model?
Get him,
No,
OG.
they have
Yeah.
an esports and gaming division now, and it's ran by Justin Jacobson, and he's been doing a phenomenal job for me.
Tell me holler at your boy, man. I can model.
Hey,
Holler at your boy.
we'll talk about it.
I'm free.
Now, see hey, but see
Right,
that I can do.
Oh, so you got pull.
Well, no, I mean I can introduce. I mean, but yeah, it's been a fun time for me though. I can't lie.
No, I've seen the growth, man. I've seen it, and definitely we're proud of you, and we're definitely pushing for you, bro. Hey Willie, real quickly, Compete Forever, Black News Channel this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern, as well. Black News Channel, Dish Network, Comcast, Xfinity, also Charter, Spectrum Cable Systems. Episode 13, I believe, is our Madden Foxwood Summer Series Grand Final. Me and Eric Coleman, former Jetstar, on the call. Top 6 players, I think $2,000 in prizes this week. Really good final that we had that'll run this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, only on Black News Channel. Happy with those guys. I'm still pumping out. I know we got at least another 6 more shows to do, so we just sound to deal with them. So we'll keep pushing that out, and we'll keep letting you guys know what's going on. We got some stuff coming up with Langston University showing, some other black colleges stuff that we're going to run, but I'm definitely happy about that. Let's get out of here, guys, in 2 minutes, or 1 minute actually. Any last thoughts? I gotta go.
Bye.
Clippers.
Hey,
Clippers and Mavs tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
Who you got? Who you got?
I'm going with that.
I got
Mavs.
Mavs.
Yeah, me too, Mavs.
Damn,
Hey, Mama Snook and Diddy. I don't want to forget about that.
Yeah. Hey,
Renee, and Serena Grace. Did y'all see them on Instagram the other day, man? Doing the walk.
Definitely did.
I missed that.
Yeah,
Go check it out.
Go check it out.
They need to stop that. They know better. I told them, I said, hey, are those my little sisters? I didn't look like it. Didn't look like it. Good stuff. No, shout out to Snook and Diddy, Renee, Serena Grace, and also KC Beauty. Kimberly. Any last thoughts? Hey, Willie, shout out Siobhan Williams, by the way. How about that?
The boss, yeah. The boss.
She's the boss, and she sent you. That's the crazy
No
thing.
question. And then you saw the real boss as well before we started.
Yeah.
Miss Jordan.
Jackson,
Miss
Jordan. Tyson.
Yeah. Yeah.
OG, are you going to be in New York? Or are you going to go back to? So you're going to do the shows from?
I'll be doing them from my own home in Ohio.
Nice.
I fly back Monday morning. Might need some time off next week. I'll let you know.
Certainly,
I heard that.
Certainly understand that. But we got some things going on. I got a meeting tomorrow, guys, and we'll keep letting you guys know. But hopefully, we can continue to push this show forward. Definitely appreciate all of your contributions to this. Without you guys, there is no show. You guys definitely make it fun for me, even when I'm running around with my crazy self, especially Derwin. You got these crazy takes that Kaepernick's not a top 500 quarterback on
Hey,
earth.
cheesecake, Larry. Cheesecake.
Cheesecake. Where Kevin Mom was at. A Willie down in the DFW. OG in Manhattan. D-Dubs down there. The Fountain of Youth. We'll throw them up the A for Renee. We'll see you guys tomorrow, Tuesday through Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. More esports extra. Bye.